Game one of the Western Conference quarterfinals had its heroes for the San Jose Sharks, and their most outstanding was veteran Jamie Baker. Turning the clock back a year, it was the same Jamie Baker, the hero again, scoring the decisive goal in the Sharks' seventh-game upset of Detroit. But Sunday, there was Baker staking the Sharks to a big 4-1 second-period lead. Then coming back to thwart a Calgary comeback bid and give the Sharks the game-winning tally. But Game 1 was yesterday's news, and the task at hand is to counter the Flames' attempt to salvage a split in Game 2. That's what all of Calgary's expecting as we welcome you to the Olympic Saddledome in the province of Alberta, where despite the intended blowout, the Sharks had vastly different plans. Hi again, everybody, and welcome live to Calgary. I'm Randy Hahn on 36 KICU as we bring you Game 2 of this playoff series between the Sharks and the Calgary Flames. As you just saw, the Sharks clearly won Game 1. Was it a blowout? No, not at all. In fact, it was a very close game. Let's look back at the highlights from Game 1, brought to you by the Pepsi-Cola Company, who reminds you that nothing else is a Pepsi. The Calgary Flames absolutely open scoring, but we pick it up with 1-0. Igor Larionov with Whitney and Makarov. Igor breaking across the blue line, spots his longtime line mate Makarov as Sergei scores his first ever goal against his former team. And the score was 1-1. Sharks kept on coming. This is a power play in the first period. Tom Peterson, a beautiful pass to Mike Ratchie, who blasted past Trevor Kidd to make the score 2-1. More Sharks. Jeff Friesen advancing it to Ulf Dahlen with some good work down low. He leaves it in the crease. Trevor Kidd trying to reach it, in fact, knocked it into his own goal. Sharks were up 3-1. Then Jamie Baker undressing Sandy McCarthy just across the line, beating Kidd high, and the Sharks had a 4-1 lead. Calgary got a shorthanded goal to make it 4-2, but then it was Baker snuffing out the momentum. It's Craig Janney with the backhand pass to Baker, who gets a couple of tries, finally scores to make it 5-2. But Calgary kept pecking away. 5-4 here with under 5 seconds to go. Artur Zerbe just has to kill the clock, lunges out after the loose puck. Robert Reichel trying to score with Paul Cruz in front of the open net, and the puck just trickles by the near post side as the Sharks hang on to a precarious 5-4 win in Game 1, prompting Kevin Constantine to say of Irbe, he's got a bonus in his contract for an entertainment clause. Indeed, that may be the case. It got very entertaining down the stretch. Pete Stemkowski's here in Calgary. Pete, that one is over now, and the Sharks don't have to worry about it anymore. But now they have to worry about doing something they haven't been able to do yet in the playoffs, and that's win Game 2.
Well, you know, they did win the battle. This is going to be a long war, and, you know, the Sharks did come up with that important win on the road, which is good when you're the visiting team. Obviously, they got that one win, so they're going to go back with home ice advantage. But, you know, Calgary's an experienced team. They got some experience back in the blue line. They got the guys like Fleury and Housley. These people have been to these wars before, so this is going to be a very difficult task for the Sharks here in Game 2 tonight.
Well, all kinds of headlines emerged after Game 1. And coming into Game 2, the biggest right now is the fact that Joe Nieuwendyk will not play again for the second straight game. He scored 6 times against the Sharks in the regular season. Theron Fleury of the Flames saying there's no doubt in his mind Calgary is going to get through this round. Rather bold statement despite being down 0-1. No suspension for Sheldon Kennedy after that high stick and the match penalty on Jason Moore in the third period on Sunday. And Sean Donovan and Vlasty Krupa have been recalled from Kansas City but are not scheduled to play in this game tonight. Pete Stemkowski, I thought that Calgary came out a lot less physical than they did in the regular season against the Sharks in Game 1. I've got to think that might change, and now composure becomes much more important for the Sharks.
Yeah, you know, they mentioned today, and it's in the papers, Dave King, the coach, has said that they are a physical hockey team, and, you know, the game plan against the Sharks always is get the body on them. They're not a big team. Wear them down. That's the way you're going to beat them. Calgary, they felt, did not play that way, especially in the early going against the Sharks, so they're looking to turn that around and play that way, especially in the first period here tonight.
All right, we'll see how the Calgary Flames, a former Stanley Cup champion, react here down to the San Jose Sharks. In Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Western Conference quarterfinals is brought to you by Great Western's family of companies. Over $42 billion strong, Great Western will always be there. By Southwest Airlines, with low fares on every seat of every flight, everywhere it flies, the low-fare airline. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. By the Pepsi-Cola Company, who reminds you that nothing else is a Pepsi. And by Toyota. The more you know, the more likely you'll buy a Toyota. The San Jose Sharks, in their second year in the playoffs, trying to go up 2-0 against their Western Conference rivals, the Sharks and the Flames, coming up.
In recent big truck acceleration tests, one truck beat all others. It was...
What do you get when you fly?
Good evening, Robert Bronstein here in our San Jose studio. We're still about 2 minutes away from the start of tonight's game. Former Shark Dave Maley joins me once again tonight. And Dave, first of all, I want to get your impression on Theo Fleury saying that they are going to win this series.
Well, I'll tell you, it's something for him to say. I think the Sharks fans, know the type of player that he is. He's an agitating type player, kind of player that you hate playing against, but you love on your team. And I think for him to say something like that, it's a little bit out of character, but I think maybe he thinks it's going to spark their team.
But it's certainly something that the Sharks are going to use to get fired up tonight, don't you think?
Well, you hear talk about that, but I don't know if it really is something that they need to get fired up. I think they got to stick with their game plan and not worry about what, Calgary's going to do. And
we should really look for Calgary to come out more aggressively tonight.
Well, yeah, they're going to come out aggressively. I think they're going to look at those films and see when they took the body for a little bit in the second period that last game, and they had some turnovers and some things happen. So they're probably going to come out taking the body.
All right, very good. The Sharks have already taken away the home ice advantage from the Flames. A win tonight would be just as huge. The Flames face what is almost a must-win situation. They don't want to face the screaming San Jose fans down 2-0. We will go back now to the Saddle Dome in Calgary, where Randy and Pete, the Sharks and Flames, are ready to go.
And welcome live to the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta. Game 2 of this Western Conference quarterfinal series between the San Jose Sharks and the Calgary Flames. Trevor Kidd comes back. He lasted just 2 periods here Sunday evening. Those are his numbers from the regular season, 43 appearances, very impressive record, and a 2.61 goals against average. Arturs Irbe, well, his year wasn't quite as impressive as Trevor Kidd's, a 3.26 goals against average, but he did post 4 shutouts, second best in the National Hockey League. Paul Dvorsky's the referee, the linesmen Gerard Gauthier and Mark Vines. The alternate official tonight is Mark Fawcett.
Interesting start here, Randy. Jamie Baker starting at center for the Sharks with Janney and Falloon. And the Calgary Flames have started Joel Otto. He was the guy that was tailing Igor Larionov around most of the game in Game 1, so we'll see who Dave King is going to match up against Larionov in this one.
Well, as Joel Otto tends to do, he won the face-off. And now the Flames, Paul Cruz sends it into the Shark zone as we are underway with Game 2. And the Flames come out flying as Sheldon Kennedy took a big run at Jim Kite. Now back down at the other end, it's Kevin Dahl collecting it in front of Trevor Kidd. Brent Yanni in the corner. Craig Janney takes it from him. Then Yanni taking Janney out of the play. Now it's Pat Falloon behind the net. Checked hard by Joel Otto. Now a check by Sheldon Kennedy on Kite. And you can see that physical presence of the Calgary Flames emerging within the first minute here. We're just 40-some seconds into the opening period, and already the Flames are crashing the Sharks at every opportunity. Dumped in by Zarley Zalewski. Ronnie Stern down low for the Flames. Gets it back toward the corner for Mike Sullivan, but Kite gets it back. He'll lift it clear of the zone for the Sharks.
When you talk about physical play, I mean, that's just a general trait in any playoff game, is to finish your checks, take the body every chance you get. But that's the way Calgary has to play against the San Jose Sharks if they think they're going to be successful.
German Titov, who got the 5-4 goal here on Sunday. Now a turnover, and the Sharks get it back to the line. Ozelins couldn't quite hold it in. Mike Grassi will flip it deep as the Sharks will get out of the zone. We've played a minute and a half here of Game 2, and it's scoreless. Here's Ronnie Stern, but he's offside as it comes over 2 lines. And they'll bring the face-off back into the neutral zone.
All right, Keys, the physical challenge we've talked about, that the Flames will come out, will hit. These Sharks got to be ready for that. Fleury and Housley, the 2 of the big guys for the Calgary Flames. Fleury, those 2 guys had 11 shots on goal in Game 1. And, of course, we talk about the physical play. Aggressive, yes, take the body, but stay out of that penalty box and don't take any of those foolish penalties.
Kevin Constantine gave his team an optional practice yesterday. Last time named Coach of the Year in the IHL in 91-92, and the Flames won a championship. Last year, runner-up Coach of the Year in the NHL. Kevin Miller in the corner, working with Phil Housley. Dahl in there as well, along with Dan Kesmer of the Flames. It comes to Miller. Turns away from Reichel. Tried to set it in front for Jeff Friesen. Now Friesen sending it down low again to Miller. He couldn't control it off those boards, and the Flames come back up the ice. Theron Fleury to Reichel. Now Reichel with Todd Hlushko. Hlushko trying to break to the corner. Has some trouble with Jason Moore. They tie up. And we're going to get, I believe, offsetting penalties here. Now Peterson getting the stick up with Hlushko.
Now those two guys kind of went head-to-head. Hlushko was trying to get in there to do some forechecking. Peterson doing the right job by just standing him up, not allowing him any kind of penetration. And then the fists started flying a little bit, little punching back and forth, and both these guys will be heading to the penalty box. Now you're going to see the puck shot in. Now see what Peterson does. He's just holding up that forechecker, allowing Jason Moore to get back there and get that puck first. And there you see the grab, the hold, and Jason Moore comes in there and becomes the peacemaker.
So they send off Hlushko and Peterson. Could have easily been Hlushko and Moore. And that will offset the situation. Well, here's some first game records set or tied. 5 goals ties the Sharks record for most goals in a playoff road game. 3 first period goals ties the record. They did that 5 other times. Most consecutive goals scored by the Sharks in a playoff game, 4. Most road shots by both teams. And the Sharks have now won 3 straight Game 1 in their playoff history. Game 1 against Detroit, Game 1 at Toronto last year, and Game 1 here Sunday. Here's Sheldon Kennedy, or make that Zarny-Zalapski sending it in for the Flames. Behind Herbe, Ozolin's trying to get it. Flames poke at it. Fleury almost found a way to make it go. There's a deflection, and Herbe will jump on that as Robert Reichel was waiting for it to come off those very active boards.
And you noticed how lively those boards were as Chason shot that puck, and I'm sure that that's one thing that Herbe tested in the morning skate this morning after that last-second drama in Game 1. Here's the shot, and hits something in front of the net wide, and look at the bounce off the backboards. As soon as that puck goes wide, Herbe's looking over his shoulder and comes directly out at him, and he jumps on top of it to get the stoppage in play.
Arturs Herbe faced 39 shots here on Sunday evening. That last play, as you saw in our open, was very, very close, just centimeters away from being a tie hockey game.
That close, huh?
Well, here in Canada, they go by the metric system.
True, right?
Couldn't have been inches. And a puck off the stick of Phil Housley up into the crowd behind Herbe, and they'll do it over again inside the Shark zone.
Talk about Game 1 and about Fleury and Housley, that they had 11 shots between them. Chason had 5, so between 3 Calgary Flames, they had 16 shots on goal. As right now, Craig Janney talking it over with Jason Moore, and we talk about basically as if the draw is won, what to do, and if the draw is lost, who's going where, because each team out there is short a skater with 1:23 left in those double minor penalties.
Number 92, Michael Nylander, making his series debut. There's Housley with the shot off the Nylander draw, and Herbe will hold that as German Titov was roughing up Jim Kite in front of the Sharks net.
In a situation where Craig Janney's going to have to really dig down and win these faceoffs, as that thing's coming right back to Housley's got a pretty good shot, and you want to win that draw. And look, sometimes Kevin Constantine put Jamie Baker out to take this draw, but not now. He's got Friesen and Janney, the 2 up front guys right now.
Nylander steps in again. He was hurt much of the year, played in only 6 games for the Flames. Now here's Housley as again they get that draw, but Kite's got it back behind the Sharks net. Jim Kite, a former Flame, tied up by Titov, fights his way free and feeds Jeff Friesen. Here's Friesen, the 18-year-old rookie, down the wing. Backing in is Kesmer. Friesen looks up the middle, nobody there, trying to get a pass off. Stick being held, but finds Janney. Back for Friesen, and he just couldn't bring it in. Back comes Nylander for Calgary, down the right side with Housley and Titov. Lost his edge, and Moore has it. Janney carries it across center ice, waiting for the line change. Here's Ozolin. Ahead to Larionov, missed the pass. Chason feeds it back to the neutral zone. The Sharks complete the line change. Here's Makarov. Got a goal here Sunday. Up the middle, winding up, sending it back to Rathje. Mike lost the handle. Back comes Makarov to the left point. Theron Fleury stole it for a moment, but Ozolin gets it back. Here's Ozelich dumping it into the Calgary zone.
Fleury almost had a break there. That puck was in his feet, but Igor Larionov came back and took it away from him.
Now it's in the feet of Zalapsky, and it comes to Urbe. He'll play it to the boards. Zalapsky tried to set up Chason at the blue line, but in fact sent it the length of the ice as the coincidental minor penalties to Halushko and Peterson are over. Teams back at 5 skaters aside now. 15:32 left to go, first period. No score. As Fleury tries to headman it for Sullivan. Broken up by Baker. Now back the other way. Here's Pat Falloon. Knocks the bouncing puck down. Kids the save. And the puck sitting there. Fleury comes back to take it away for the Flames. Nice shot, nice save. Here's Fleury across the line. Has Sullivan with him. Puck forced to the boards. Baker goes to Falloon again. Brent Yanni lining up Falloon, who just backed away from the check. Now it's dumped back into the Shark zone. Kelly Kissio there. Played it back. Comes out across the blue line. Back in again. And Jason Moore has it for San Jose. Moore using the boards, trying to find Dahlin. Here's Olf, gets behind Yanni. Olf Dahlin behind the net. Puck poked away by Yanni. Dahlin sends it back toward the Flame zone. Kevin Miller after it, leaves it for Friesen. Friesen wheeling it around for Miller. Joel Otto stole it. Now it comes back to Kevin Miller. Broken stick on the ice. Here's a puck into the slot. Dahlin didn't see it. He was occupied by Housley. Mike Sullivan taking it. And the former Shark will play it back out into the neutral zone.
Nice job on the forecheck for the Sharks. Notice closest guy, Dahlin's in there, puck's in his corner. He gets on top of that puck real quick.
Here's a steal by Whitney at the blue line, but they call it offside. And we will pause. 14:07 left in a scoreless first period. Had a big game one. We asked him if he puts any extra pressure on himself at playoff time.
Yeah, I do. I try to put pressure to perform every night I step on the ice, and I kind of like. I love games like this because this is why you play hockey, big games, and I put a lot of pressure on myself today to do a lot of things, and hopefully I can do some things tonight to help the team to win the game.
Dahlin with a goal and an assist in game one. As the Sharks dump it into the Flame zone, this is Jeff Odgers, his first shift of the night. Whitney's checked hard by Kesmer, but bounces right off the check. Odgers working Housley over down low. Now Kesmer shaking off Whitney as the Flames emerge from their end. Turned right over again to Baker. Here comes Calgary. Nylander winding up. Urbe the stick save, and that'll deflect up into the crowd.
The third shot on goal for the Calgary Flames as Nylander steals that puck up at the red line, but Sharks doing a good job of picking up the rest of the people on the ice, and Nylander from way out shoots the puck, and you allow Urbe that much space, he's going to come down with the save. And first shot on goal for the Sharks from Pat Falloon almost beats Trevor Kidd. Here's that last play. Nylander shooting in, and there you see Urbe. He just comes out, cuts the angle, and gets his left pad on that one. That shot by Falloon a couple minutes ago almost beat Kidd to the stick side.
There's Urbe to the glove side, and he's got it as Ronnie Stern comes in late, and Urbe didn't like it, neither did Ozelich, who finished his check after the whistle, and Ronnie Stern backs away.
Well, that's something that Calgary was doing in game one, Randy. They were jumping in on top of Urbe just a split second after that whistle goes. Supposed to go for the net, look for rebounds, and keep going and hacking away until the whistle does blow, but I think Calgary gets a little aggressive when it comes to that. We're going to look at that shot by Pat Falloon. He's going to come just to the top of the face-off circle. Look at that shot. Almost catches that far corner, but Kidd was able to get the blocker on it.
Off the face-off, a Calgary player injured. German Titov got up very slowly. Sharks break across the line. This is Makarov. Dumps it along the wing, but it's taken back by Titov, who stayed out there. Tries to get it from Sullivan. Can't. Here's Janney. He gives for Larionov. Broken up. Sullivan headmanning to Stern at center. Now Chason across the line. Back for Stern. Winds up. Larionov interfered with him behind. Now it's centered. Here to side by Rafchi. Flames still on top of the puck. Titoff centers. Here's a chance for Zalapski, and they score.
Well, the Flames getting the bounces here as the puck's going to out in front of the net. Titoff's going to be on the right of your screen. The shot coming is going to hit him and drop right at his feet. Look at that. He's out behind the net, just coming out in front. The shot coming from the other side is going to hit Titoff, who's back there doing some forechecking. He dumps the puck out in front. Now the puck starts bouncing around a little bit. There you see Zalapski take a shot, and Titoff, who's coming out, is going to hit him, drop right at his feet, and he's got the whole net to put it in and give the Flames the first goal of this game.
Well, he scored his first goal on Sunday. 7 multiple-point games during the regular season, although he was much stronger in the first half than in the second. 1-0 Calgary leading as they did in Game 1. Sharks go offside as Dahlin's called at the blue line. We pause with the Flames in front on 36 KICU.
Now, this is how people organized their finances back when Great Western Bank got started. Well, today, all you need is a Great Western checking account. You can direct deposit your paycheck, pay your mortgage, take care of your car payment, all automatically. If you want the best way to get organized, ask the folks who've been working on it for 100 years.
Onward and upward, the awards, the honors for the Toyota Camry continue to rise, and the car that's become the gold standard can now be leased for as little as $229 a month, which includes automatic transmission, air conditioning, power windows and door locks, and more. The new 1995 Toyota Camry lease, starting at just $229 a month. So low for a car that aims so high.
Welcome back to Calgary, where this game is brought to you by Pontiac. Check out the new value price Pontiacs at your local Silicon Valley Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement.
5-1, the shots on goal. Favor of the Calgary Flames through the just about 8 minutes gone here in the first period.
Face-off just outside the Flame zone, and again Calgary winning the face-off as Robert Reichel out-dueling Ulf Dahlin, and the Flames send it in. Herbe using the glass. Miller advances it out of the zone. This is Phil Housley. Housley carries the blue line. That's rejected. Sharks staying back. Nobody able to jump on that loose puck in the neutral zone. Here's Theron Fleury, who says he will lead the Flames past the Sharks if he has to do it by himself.
He said that?
Yes, he did. Here's Dahlin. Behind the net, he's upended. No indication from Paul Dvorsky. Play goes on as Kesmer slaps it in from center ice. Fleury chasing down the left wing. Partially fans. Now Cruz checks Ozolinch in the corner. They look for the puck. It comes out and comes back to Pat Falloon. He runs into Kennedy. They bump shoulder to shoulder.
Got to keep your head up.
Here's Kennedy behind the net. Falloon chopping it off the boards and out. Here's a race for it. Evan Dahl's going to get to it ahead of Janney, and he'll work it to the left side, but right to Janney. Janney on his knees, trying to get it up the wing for Baker. Baker and Kennedy tie up on the boards, comes out to Janney. Here's Craig Janney, looks in front. Tried to pass it, it deflected off Dahl, who kicks it off the end boards. Paul Cruz with it. Baker checks him. Baker comes out with the puck. He's upended. And the Flames' Trent Yanni ahead to Kennedy, who sweeps it clear. Seeing the call against Calgary. That'll bring it back down into Trevor Kidd's neighborhood.
Jamie Baker's just been the hero for the Sharks. Couple of goals in Game 1, and this is the kind of situation that he likes to perform on. Certainly a big factor last year.
Well, it was April 5th of '94. 2 goals in the playoff clinching game against the LA Kings. Then 25 days later, the game winner against Detroit in Game 7. And then Sunday here, 2 goals against the Calgary Flames, including the game winner. Here's Ray Whitney. Sergei Makarov checked by Chason as Whitney brings it into the zone. It comes to Larionov. One man back, and Larionov's shot floats wide. Played by Rafchi along the boards. Larionov couldn't get it. Now Stern sends it around to the other side for Mike Sullivan. 1-0. Calgary leading. 10-10 left here in the first period. And the puck out of play up into the 5th row.
As Joel Otto was against Larionov in game 1, it appears that Dave King, the Calgary coach, has got Mike Sullivan against Larionov tonight.
There's Makarov, who scored his first ever goal against his former team, the Calgary Flames. He did not tally last season in the regular season, nor this year. In fact, he only had 1 assist. This is from the 88-89 season. Sergei Makarov,
him on the left,
with the Calgary Flames. That is him on the left. And he was the NHL's Rookie of the Year that season.
Yeah, he was.
After that season, they changed the rules.
Hop along back.
He lassoed himself the Calder Trophy that year. Here's a shot by Friesen, and Kidd just got that right pad on it again as the rookie bidding for his first ever playoff goal.
Well, Randy, that's what the Sharks got to do, is get some shots on this youngster, Trevor Kidd. His first playoff game was the other night, and you know that they scored 4 goals on 8 shots against them, so you know a lot of thoughts have been going through his mind, so they got to get some rubber towards him and just see how he's standing up, how he's going to take the pressure here in game 2.
Gave up a goal on almost every third shot here in game 1. And a whistle blows as Todd Hlushko thought about a breakaway against Artur Zerbe, but a 2-line pass is called.
He was up over the red line, and that puck coming from behind the blue line, and that was the offside call.
Here's Dave King, head coach of the Calgary Flames. As you look at Falloon, who was...
We talk about the head. Look at the head. Dipped it for a second, and Kennedy came in with that shoulder and spun Falloon around.
Kennedy, by the way, received a match penalty, as we told you on Sunday, for that high stick infraction on Jason Moore, but the NHL ruled that there was no intent to injure, and he was not suspended any further.
Oh, I disagree, and case is closed.
Here's Fleury ahead for Reichel. Reichel saved by Irbe. The right leg out to stop that shot by Robert Reichel. Penalty coming up here. It's going to be against the Sharks as Steve Chason headmans it to Fleury. And now the whistle blows as Jamie Baker grabs it, and the Sharks are going to be shorthanded. It's going to be, I believe, too many men on the ice.
Well, he's pointing towards the bench. I don't know whether it's somebody who took the penalty and jumped off, or whether there are too many men on the ice, but that's what the captain, Jeff Hodges, is questioning referee Paul Dvorsky about right now. And bottom line is the Sharks are going to get penalized here.
So this will be the first power play situation of the game. That is Paul Dvorsky, the referee tonight.
Well, Ozelynch is the guy who's heading over there. And, you know, normally when you got a bench minor, you don't put a defenseman in the penalty box because you want all your guys on the bench. So we'll just wait to see what the official call is.
And there's now an additional penalty. The Sharks have just been given another, or is it a different player?
Well, there's a slashing.
Jim Kite is now going into the box.
I don't know. He gets the slashing. Jim Kite. All right.
All right.
There's the Reichel just earlier coming in over the blue line. He's going to try the far side on Irbe. Look at that shot. Goes far, and Irbe standing up good, playing his angles very well so far. He's had 7 shots against him.
So a power play now for Calgary as Jim Kite is off for slashing at 11:34. There was no additional penalty. Dvorsky just wanted to make sure the right guy was in the box, so he pointed back at the Sharks bench a second time. Here's Theron Fleury, ridden off the puck by Jason Moore. Kelly Kissio is hammered by Peterson. Puck still moving. Dvorsky watching from behind Irbe, and now it squirts out. Kissio again, checked by Peterson. Now Reichel, roughed up by Jamie Baker. Fleury out of the corner, drops it for Kissio, but Peterson's there, and he'll send it all the way down the ice. Some good play in the corner by the Sharks.
Tom Peterson and Kelly Kissio, they're both about the same size, but I'll tell you, Tommy Peterson just gave Kissio a couple of solid hits. Kissio's off the ice.
Now fired in by the Flames. It rides the lip of the boards all the way to Phil Housley. Friesen trying to break free, does. He's got Chancel on his right. The pass underneath Steve Chason. And the whistle blows as Friesen and Tansel were 2-on-1.
You see how Jeff Friesen, how persistent he is. He had chase on. Housley was on him. Instead of just dumping in or making a pass, he keeps going forward, and that's the power in this youngster has in his legs. He kept going down the ice. He tried to slide the puck across, but Steve Chason is going to make a good defensive play. Look how he's using those legs. Now he tries to throw it across to Tansel over on the other side, but Chason just got his body down on the ice to smother that.
Calgary's power play in the regular season, 12th best in the NHL. Sharks with the 14th best penalty killing. Pretty good matchup of special teams in this series. Here's Housley to the line, and it's forced back again. Housley had 2 assists last night, or Sunday night, for Calgary. Here's Irbe. And it comes to the other side for Nylander. He'll throw it to the point. Zalapski's shot blocked. Drops to the corner. Ozolinsh ahead to Tansel, and he'll send it out with 22 seconds left in the Flames power play. 1-0 Calgary leading on German Tedov's goal at 7:26. Jason Moore uses the glass to send it down.
That'll just about do it. 5 seconds left.
Here's a 3-on-2 for Calgary. Paul Cruz on the left wing. It comes back for Kennedy. He'll peel off. Look to Nylander. Now the power play's over as Nylander turns away from Miller, but then gives it away to Baker. Here come the Sharks. Kevin Miller ahead for Jim Kite. Kite on the backhand. Created the save. The puck loose. Whistle blows. Penalty coming up to the Calgary Flames. When we come back, the Sharks go on the power play.
It's well known that
Penalty's going to occur right there in the middle of your screen. See, Zalapski's got a hold of Miller there as Jim Kite is leading that rush. Lets a backhand go as Kidd loses it. It drops to his feet, but Miller was just hauled down by Zarley Zalapski and gets the interference penalty.
This is not as good a matchup. Clearly, Sharks with the second worst power play. Calgary with the 4th best penalty killing. Flames were the most penalized team in the NHL this past season. They've had lots and lots and lots of practice killing penalties. Here's Larionov behind his own net. Gets away from Ronnie Stern. Now through the skates of Whitney. Craig Janney will turn. Janney tried to give off to the middle. Comes back to Mike Rathje.
Sharks want to do is obviously get up over the blue line and start controlling the play and work for that real good one shot on goal, but Calgary's not allowing him that penetration.
Makarov's pass knocked down by Stern. Now Larionov to Makarov. And again, Calgary breaks it up before the Sharks can get across the line.
They know what Makarov and Larionov can do once they get inside, and Janney's very effective with the puck inside that blue line, so they're just standing right up there.
Here's a mix-up and a breakaway. Kennedy scores!
Now the Flames are clogging up the neutral zone. There you see a couple of them right there, and the Sharks bumping into each other. Janney and Ozolinsh, and who's free but Sheldon Kennedy coming in on Arturs Irbe, goes right at him, and then the deke. Here you see the bump with the 2 Sharks. There's Kennedy. He's home free and just draws out Arturs Irbe and puts the backhand in. A shorthanded goal for the Calgary Flames.
They scored one on Sunday when Theron Fleury brought the Flames back. So the second shorthanded goal of the series for the Flames. And Mike Sullivan, who gets an assist on the goal, has assists on both Calgary goals. The former Shark putting the hurt to his former team here in the first period. 2-0 Flames, and Irbe's got to sit on this one as Sullivan was up there forechecking and almost created another opportunity.
Well, that puck was lying there. Actually, Irbe went to shoot the puck, and he missed it. There you see the snow that all these goalkeepers like to pile up against the goalpost there. That kind of gives them a little cushion with their skate, or those wraparounds make it a little bit more difficult. But, well, I'll tell you, make that heart beat a little faster. And Irbe had the puck, and I think he looked up before he shot it. Next thing you know, it's laying at his feet, and Mike Sullivan almost tapped that one in.
So the Sharks with 37 more seconds to go on their power play. As Sheldon Kennedy gets his first ever Stanley Cup playoff goal. Fred is going to hold this here as Jeff Friesen broke in.
The Sharks still got 29 seconds left to go here in the power play.
Well, what a turn of events for Kennedy. Last game given a match penalty and not given a further suspension by the NHL, which allowed him to be available tonight. But there was some conjecture as to whether or not Dave King would play him. He took some bad penalties in the third period.
Well, sometimes you stick the guy right back in there, and you know he wants to undo what he did in the last game. And already done something positive in this one.
Last time the Sharks gave up a shorthanded goal Sunday, they came back and scored right away. Peterson blasted that one high. 13 to go in this power play. Kevin Dahl will lift it off and up to center ice. Peterson sends it right back up for Andrei Nazarov. Nazarov, pushed by Dahl, gives along the boards for Ulf Dahlen. Broken stick of Dahl's goes flying. The power play's over. Puck still in the Calgary zone, comes out to Tom Peterson.
Yeah, Kevin Dahl did not have a stick. He's close to the bench, but not close enough to get over there and get one.
Sharks did not get a shot on goal on that power play. As Trent Yanni touches up, we will pause with 4:55 left in the first period. Calgary up 2-0.
Power. Harness it and nothing stands.
During the break, Dave Maley will rejoin me with his thoughts on this first period of play, and we'll see the different tactics used by Sharks fans trying to get a precious few playoff tickets. That at the break. Right now, back to Calgary with Randy and Pete.
And the Flames up 2-0 here. This is the biggest advantage they've enjoyed in the series. They had a 1-0 lead in game one, but never led by more than a goal. And Kesmer, a long pass over two lines, though, to Robert Reichel. Well, tonight's San Jose Sharks game is brought to you by the Pepsi-Cola Company, who reminds you that nothing else is a Pepsi.
No question. The Sharks got to start generating more shots towards the Calgary Flame nets. There you see the difference. 9-3 in the Flames' favor. And I'll tell you, our kid has made... We had one difficult save off Pat Falloon that he handled pretty good, but a couple of shots were very routine, and he juggled, especially that backhand by Jim Kite, and he had trouble with it. And I really feel that he is really tense in there, and the Sharks get some more action towards him. That they could get something past him.
Saw that graphic there of the playoff experience for the Sharks. 17 Sharks this year with postseason experience to only 9 a year ago. Ozelinch overskated it. Nice move by Mike Sullivan. Boy, is he having a first period. Puck comes back to the Sharks. Whitney trying to reach it, couldn't. Now Larionov trailing, has it. One man back, Zalapski. Larionov backhand, saved by Kidd. It drops down and he'll cover it up.
Well, Igor Larionov, anytime you give him some ice, he will take it, and he just goes straight ahead. But Calgary Flames doing a good job. They realize that they got a youngster in the net. They're going to have to give him some protection tonight, and Larionov has just steered into a bad angle, lets a backhand shot go, and he just backed up and protected that short side with the stop on that one. But there you see no Sharks heading in that area looking for any loose pucks. They're way out on that one. They got to crash that net.
Here's Whitney in the corner. Roughed up by Zalapski. He did dump it behind the net. Nobody there except Titoff. He'll shovel it to Chason. And now it hits the linesman, Gauthier. Comes over to this side for Mike Rathje. 2-0 Calgary. Goals by Titoff and Sheldon Kennedy. Kennedy's goal, the second shorthanded, given up by the Sharks in the series. And this is going to be icing. Well, Ulf Dahlen coming off, as we said, a 2-point game. Second in the Sharks' postseason scoring leaders. Got his 7th playoff goal as the Shark the other night. Team MVP is selected by the Bay Area media, and that was a good choice.
And we did vote for him.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and he's got that playoff look, that 5 o'clock shadow, that mean look that these guys in the National Hockey League like to sport this time of the year and postseason play.
Who could forget that hat trick, huh? May 6th last year against Toronto at San Jose Arena, as the Sharks forced Toronto to the ultimate brink of a 7th game, only to lose it at Maple Leaf Gardens. Took a lot out of the Leafs that series because they went on to go down to Vancouver in 5 games. Here's Dahlin losing his stick. Kevin Miller has his. He'll try to just dump it up until Oath gets his woodwork back. Now Dahlin with his stick. Good thing as he sweeps it away from Sheldon Kennedy on the left side.
A good defensive play by Old Dahlin. That's where you really, in the playoffs, you got to pick it up both ends, obviously offensively, and then when you don't have the puck, got to do the job defensively. You let the puck carriers be handled by the defense, but going to come back and pick up some of those trailers, and that was a nice defensive play there by Dahlin.
3:20 left here in the first period. Calgary out shooting the Sharks 9-4. And Jason Moore is going to get called for an icing, and it'll come right back the other way. Well, KSJO Radio will host a playoff street party from 5:30 to 7:15 p.m. on Thursday on Autumn Street in San Jose. This prior to Game 3, and there'll be a large barbecue with great hot dogs, burgers, and ribs, live music, prizes, fun, games. I think we might have to check that out, Pete. KSJO 92.3 FM throwing a bash.
I'm going to get there early. Have some ribs.
Yeah, you better get there earlier than Pete if you want any ribs.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say you're going to scarf there, big fella.
I like ribs.
I do too. Finger licking. Face off down in the Calgary zone, or Shark zone, and Falloon can't clear it. Here's Kesmer with a blast. Urbe with the save. It came right back out. He wasn't sure where it was. Janney trying to send Falloon in. Sharks will have to back out here on the delayed offside. Nylander wasting some time, sends it across to Kesmer. Falloon breaks that up. Here's Baker ahead to Falloon. Now Falloon waiting on Janney. Janney moving in. Kidd with the save. Craig Janney running out of room.
He was in so tight that the only place he could put it was upstairs, and by the time he got control of that puck, it just nowhere to shoot it, and Kidd was there. But some good playing. Falloon and Janney. Look how Janney just tips that puck. He's on his backhand trying to go to his forehand. See, then he tries to stick it through his legs, but Kidd got those legs together and down, and there was no room for Janney. But a great play around Phil Housley. There's Janney right there. See, he may have been able to go high on that one as Kidd was going down, but once you make your decision, he decided to go between the legs, and there just wasn't any room there.
Craig Janney coming over to the Sharks in a trade with the St. Louis Blues for Jeff Norton late in the season, and generated just about a point a game down the stretch for the San Jose Sharks.
20 points in 27 games.
Finished the year total with 27 points in 35. Sullivan ahead. This is Zalewski. Turns around as he crosses the line. Now Mike Sullivan. Jim Kite neutralizes him. Puck comes out. Flames with it. Titoff diving as he let it go. Now Makarov leaving for Ozolin. Sandus ahead for Whitney. 2-on-1 with Larionov. Ray Whitney to Igor. Shot saved by Kidd.
May have caught a piece of that goal post.
In the corner. It's fired around by Titoff. Ozolin holds it in with 1:45 left. Makarov can't find it low. Here's Larionov. Roughed up by Ronnie Stern. Stern without his stick. And Stern just picked up a penalty. Yep. Ronnie Stern had no stick, and he just kept hammering away at Igor Larionov.
Well, he kept going up high, Randy. He kept going into his face. It's why you don't want to push the guy, push him around the shoulders or below, but Stern without the stick, he just had Larionov pinned up against the boards and wouldn't let him go and just started pushing him, getting him in the chin and the face, and that was the reason for the penalty called by referee Paul Dvorsky.
So Stern off for roughing at 18:23.
Well, that's because Stern, Titoff, and Mike Sullivan are the guys that Dave King, the Calgary coach, appears to be matching up against the Igor Larionov line. We mentioned Joel Otto played against that line in Game 1, but I think what King feels is Sullivan has more speed than Otto. Not as big, but probably can skate with Igor a little better.
Sharks were 1 for 6 in Game 1 on the power play. Some good offense generated, 8 shots on goal. And they did get that 1 power play goal from Mike Rathje.
minute and a half left in this period. A goal here would be pretty big for the
Here's
Sharks.
Rathje again on the same play, but this time he misfires. I think the puck might have been rolling as it came to him, and Tom Peterson, who fed the pass, is back for the Sharks.
Yeah, that was almost deja vu all over again, huh? Same guys?
Same type of situation. Rathje will just dump this one up the ice. Not sure about that choice there, but it comes back down the other way as you look at the time left here in the first period. It's about an extra 23 seconds on the penalty time clock, so this would spill over to the second period. Here's Dahlin. Carries the line. Here's a break for Titoff. Just missed. That may have grazed the outside of the post as German Titoff bid it for his second goal. Here comes Friesen. He's double teamed in the neutral zone and throws down Kennedy. 35 seconds left to go in the period. A minute to go in the power play. There's a goal! Ozolinsh, and it's 2-1.
Sandis Ozolinsh came off the bench in that play. He jumped into that open space, got the puck, and just kept driving for the net and got all of that one, and the Sharks get themselves a huge goal, a power play goal. Look, he jumps in the hole. Fleury is on him. He's getting tied up. There's 3 Calgary Flames near him, but he's strong enough to fight those people off and let the shot go. There's the pass by Dahlin. He jumps in between. Now look, gets the puck, or actually his stick pulled back a little bit, but then he just winds up and drives it. Look at the look from our camera downstairs. Up over the shoulder of Kidd in a 2-1 hockey game.
So Ozolinsh with a huge power play goal here late in the period. That's the time left down to 16 seconds. Slapped in by the Flames. Kite left it behind the net. Now he gets it as he had to sidestep the check from Lushko. Here's Falloon. Time running down. He'll let a shot go off the blocker of Trevor Kidd, and that's going to do it for the first period. So a huge late power play goal by Sandis Ozolinsh takes a little of the steam out of Calgary's attack, which was much more consistent in the first period tonight than it was in Game 1 on Sunday. Artur Zerbe faced 10 Flame shots in the opening period. The first 2 goals, German Titoff, second of these playoffs from Zalapski and Mike Sullivan at 7:26. Then Sullivan helped set up Sheldon Kennedy's first from Stern. But Sandis Ozolinsh comes back with that late power play goal. Dahlin and Peterson get the assists at 19:29. So at the end of period 1 here in game 2 of the Western Conference Series, it's Calgary 2, the Sharks 1. Now to our Cellular One studios and Robert Bronstein.
All right, thanks, Randy. Up next, how it went yesterday as hundreds of fans lined up for just a few playoff tickets. And Dave Maley is back to break down the first period of play right after this.
At Chevron, we know no matter how hot that car looks, the wrong gasoline can make your performance fizzle. May we suggest Chevron Supreme with Tetraline, a simple way to help fire up your performance. Chevron, simply smarter.
When you're flying the Love Air airline, you're flying with Southwest. You gotta fly out to see the honey, or maybe close a big business deal. But you don't wanna spend so much money that you can't afford your next meal. We will fly you right to your city. You'll be laughing all the way there. There'll be money left in the kitty, cause you've paid the lowest fare. We're not a low fare airline, we're the low fare airline. Little word, big difference. Ba-ba-da.
The competition, the only one in the world where killing your opponent is not against the rules. The punch, capable of knocking a man out in 1/10 of a second. The kick.
Dave Maley is back in the hot seat. And Dave, we said Calgary was going to come out and play physically, and they sure did, didn't they?
Oh, that's some playoff hockey there. I think the first game we were talking about how slow the game seemed, like a mid-season game, and the elbows were up and the gloves were in the face, and it's playoff hockey there.
And the Sharks down 2-0 quickly in this one. And as we take a look at the tape, this power play was about as big of a disaster as you can have on a power play, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think they, see the tape here, they were bunched up in the middle. I really don't think the Sharks got their speed going at all during this whole 2 minutes. They're kind of, you can see they're all looking around, the puck's bouncing around, and they're getting clogged up in the middle, and Calgary takes advantage of it, and Kennedy makes a great play to score the goal.
And a shorthanded goal there, and the Sharks, you know, Janny is spinning around, and here comes Kennedy breaking free, and Kennedy, who was not suspended by the league today, obviously coming up big right there. And Trevor Kidd, who played well all the way in the period. The Sharks were pretty much dominated until the end. They got a goal to make it 2-1, and that's going to mean a lot, isn't it?
Well, I think that, you know, kind of erases all the physical play from Calgary. It's a one-goal game. Sandus breaks in, Ulf gives him a great pass, and he gets off a good shot. So it's a one-goal game.
So now they're down 2-1. What do the Sharks need to do to at least tie this up, maybe take a lead in the second period?
Well, I think they weathered the storm. They weathered that first storm. They knew they were going to come out and play physical, and they walked away from a lot of things. I think the Sharks fans probably saw a lot of penalties out there that could have been called, and I'd have to agree with them. But hopefully they'll regroup and carry on from that goal at the end of the period.
Now, this is the second game in a row that you've been saying this, that the penalties are kind of off balance and headed more towards Calgary's side. Is this going to change when the Sharks get back home Thursday night?
Well, I hope so. I mean, if he's going to call them like that in their building, he got to call them to the Sharks' favor in their building.
And if he doesn't, the fans should let him know about it, right?
That's right.
That's right. The fans certainly will let them know about it Thursday night. We'll be back with a trip to the San Jose Arena as fans vie for the hottest ticket in town next.
Puck goes down into the Calgary end along the far boards. And right out in front of Steele, and rolls it in and score! David Bruce took a whack at it in a pile-up just to the right-hand side of Vernon, and it dribbled through for the goal.
In recent truck studies, one compact 4x2 truck had more standard horsepower than...
After Sunday's win, it didn't take long for Sharks fans to hit the San Jose Arena for tickets. Just 1,900 tickets went on sale yesterday morning for the first two home playoff games. The mystery was which fans would get the tickets and which would go home empty-handed. Right at 10 Monday morning, the first of the remaining home playoff tickets went on sale.
2 and 2 for each game? 2 for each game?
It didn't matter how early you got to the arena as long as you were handed one of these wristbands. The lucky number was 4775. He got the first tickets. Everyone before him was pretty much out of luck. Everyone after him had to wait and hope. Mick Pappas got to walk right up front.
We're driving here, we missed the exit, so we're 10-12 minutes delayed. Luckily, now we're like third, fourth line. Perfect time.
We would have been way up there, way up there.
But so if you would have been earlier, you would not have been as in good a shape.
10 minutes earlier, we'd be back in line still. It's incredible.
If the wristband wasn't lucky, you went directly to the phones. What are you trying to do?
Trying to call Bass, get tickets. I'm like dead last in line.
Is it going to work?
I don't think so.
You got the cell phone. You know, You've gone as high-tech as you can get to try and get these tickets.
I'm trying with no luck so far.
It's not working at all, is it?
Not at all. Oh, well.
Can you just keep redialing and redialing?
That's what I'm doing. All circuits are busy. A lot of people wanting these.
But no one more than the people here. People agonizing over the nail-biting experience of beating that dreaded announcement. What announcement?
I've just been notified they have run out of Sharks tickets.
That's the one, but there is still hope. There are obstructed view seats. If you don't mind a railing in the way, you're in. And that brings us to this woman in the black hood. She won't be identified because her boss thinks she's sick. Her daughters are praying for tickets of any kind. Her grandson, Joe, has had enough.
Woo! Yes, we got them.
That's right. The mystery woman has her tickets, and the kids are thrilled.
Which game? For home? Yes. Woo! Right on.
So what about the Sharks fans without tickets?
Hopefully the Sharks will pull it through and have more games, and I'll be right here again in line.
Always watch it on TV. No problem.
Appreciate that.
Watch Channel 36, right?
There you go.
All right.
The tickets sold out in just 15 minutes. There will be a few for sale the afternoon before each of the night games coming up. Good luck. Back with the latest scores from the rest of tonight's NHL playoff games right after this. Now for the American Express scoreboard, brought to you by the Card. The American Express card, don't leave home without it. Detroit all over Dallas tonight, 4-1 is the final there. A good game in St. Louis, Vancouver, and St. Louis tied at 3-all. Toronto with a 1-0 lead over Chicago. That is in the second period. Back with the second period from Calgary in a moment. The Flames leading the Sharks 2-1.
I'd love a house of my own.
With bay windows.
Blue in Calgary, first intermission with the Flames leading the Sharks 2-1. And the second period brought to you by Pacific Bell. Don't miss a play. Don't miss a phone call with the message center from Pacific Bell. By Herrera Cadillac Olds GMC Pleasanton, Ellis Brooks Chevrolet Pontiac Geo San Francisco, and Lemurs Olds GMC Concord. By Round Table. Call your local Round Table when you want all kinds of wonderful pizzas delivered. By Pontiac and the Silicon Valley Pontiac dealers, we are driving excitement. No gasoline cleans your engine better than Chevron with its special gasoline additive. Chevron, simply smarter. Time for highlights. Pete Stemkowski.
Well, as in game one, the Flames strike first once again as they got the puck behind the net. Titov has the puck. He's going at it with Ozolinsh. He dumps it out in front. See, it hits Larionov's stick. Now rolls over, and Zalapsky just shoots it. Titov is going to come from behind the net. The puck's going to hit him. Drop right at his feet. Herbe's way over the other side. Titov from Zalapsky and Sullivan giving the Flames the 1-0 lead. Now on the power play, the Sharks get tangled up there in the neutral zone. Short-handed. Here come the Calgary Flames. Kennedy coming in. Got that pass from Sullivan on the backhand. Makes no mistake. And that gave Calgary at 13:49 the 2-0 lead. Then late on the power play at 19:29, Sandis Ozolinsh jumps off the bench, gets between the defenders, breaks in. He's tied up, but gets that stick back, lets a good shot go. That beats Trevor Kidd, giving the Sharks their goal, assists for Dahlin and Tom Peterson.
And the game stats brought to you by Pontiac and the Silicon Valley Pontiac dealers. We are driving excitement. Flames out shooting the Sharks 10-9, outchancing them 6-4. Sharks with the only power play of the period on their only shot on the power play. 10 penalty minutes in that opening 20 minutes of play. And a look at the crowd here at the Olympic Saddledome in Calgary. Under a sellout, still awaiting the official count. We were 5,000 short of a sellout here on Sunday in Game 1. Well, Game 3 of this best-of-7 quarterfinal series can be seen on Sports Channel on Thursday night. The Sharks will be back home in the arena. Pre-game show starting at 7. Game 3 action live at 7:30. The Sharks and Flames. Game 3 at San Jose Arena, Thursday only on Sports Channel. And the players making their way back out onto the ice here. A lot of talk in Calgary about the less than capacity crowd here. This seats over 20,000, and they had a lot of empty seats here on Sunday.
Yeah, they announced about 15 and change, and probably about that here tonight. And you know, the interesting thing here in Calgary, it's not how well the Sharks played, but how poorly Calgary played in that game one. But Flames certainly got to get a win here heading back to San Jose for Game 3.
Well, as we get set for the second period, the players coming out of the dressing room. Let's hear from Kevin Constantine, Sharks coach, on how he corrects problems between periods.
Well, I mean, that varies all the time for a number of reasons. You have to really know exactly what happened during the period. Sometimes what happened can be corrected tactically, and sometimes what happens has to be corrected more psychologically in terms of team, being more motivated, more prepared, and so forth to play. So it really depends on what happened. It's also impossible to go in a locker room after every bad time and scream and yell at your team and think they're going to respond to that. That becomes rather dull to the team after a while. So you have to pick and choose when you can do that. We certainly want to play our best hockey. The players want to. They don't want to be pampered if they haven't played well. They want to get honest, straight feedback, I think, from the coaching staff. And we try to provide the best thing for them, either to make a motivational change in the way we're playing or make a tactical change in the way we're playing if we've played a bad period.
You got to play so many mind games when you're a coach. You got to know when to slap them in the back, kick them in the pants, and you get a different perspective when you're standing behind that bench. You see the game a lot differently than what we say we do upstairs, and that's why they got Eric Eisler up here, Drew Amenda, the assistant coaches that watch the game from up here in the press box, and they run down there between periods and tell the coach some of the things that they saw, and that's when Kevin addresses the troops. But most of it is just a rest period between periods.
So we're set to face off the second period. Jamie Baker wins the draw, forces it into the zone. Here's a chance for Janney. And he couldn't get the shot away as Trent Yanni had him tied up. But a good opening period rush by the Sharks as Baker won the draw. Now the Flames force it out. Here's Jim Kite getting back. And he takes a big hit from Paul Cruz, who seemed to get the worst of that. Jim bounced right back up and sent a pass over to Baker. Comes back to Joel Otto. Now here's Cruz. Cruz grabbed by Kite, and the shot from Otto goes over the net after Irbe got a piece of it with his stick. Here's Sheldon Kennedy. And the one-timer blocked as Ozolinsh comes up with it. To Balloon. Pat Balloon now across center ice. Penalty away from the play by Jamie Baker as he brought Joel Otto down.
Yeah, he just he was trying to get past Joel Otto, and Otto was just standing him up and not allowing him to get past him, and he just took his stick and wiped Joel Otto right down and skated by him. But that was right in front of referee Paul Dvorsky. So in the first minute of the second period, the Sharks are going to have to kill a penalty.
Tripping is the call at the 47-second mark. So Baker will sit, and the Flames will go on the power play for the second time on the evening.
And we're looking.
This is the game one numbers on the power play for Calgary. They were 1 for 7. They got 8 shots on goal. Their one power play goal coming from Steve Chason that made it 5-3.
The Sharks were 1 for 6 in game one on the power play.
So the faceoff just outside the Calgary zone. Here's Housley out with Fleury, Chason, Reichel, and Kissio on the Flames power play. Sharks have Peterson, Rathje, Miller, and Friesen out on the penalty kill unit. 3 Flames converge in the corner. Reichel gets the puck, tried to center it. Now Rathje gets a piece of it, knocks Reichel off the puck. Comes back to Kelly Kissio. The former Shark sends it to Housley. Here's Fleury. Peterson challenging him as Theron Fleury dumps to the corner. Reichel. Housley couldn't hold it, and Rathje will send it down.
Good penetration up high. They don't want Housley handling the puck too much. He had 35 assists on the season. He's good with it. The Sharks are paying close attention to him.
And he's exceptional on the power play as Irbe sweeps it aside. Very active boards here at the Saddle Dome. There's a shot that comes out of the pile. Irbe, great save. Got his right leg out to stop that shot by Fleury. Now Irbe on top of it again at the edge of the crease. Huge save by Irbe here on the power play.
Reichel had him. It was one-on-one. Irbe, Reichel, and Irbe was drawn over to the one side as that shot did come from the point, and here you're going to see Reichel digging that puck from that pile there, and look at Irbe, just stretches out, right pad at the last minute, getting in the way of that shot by Reichel.
Irbe's faced 11 shots, 9 saves to his credit so far, but none so far any bigger than that one.
Yeah, that would have really given the Flames a big charge. Here you see the traffic in front, puck coming down, Reichel grabbing a hold of it, tries to go wide, but Irbe just stayed with that all the way and slid across to come up with the stop.
Off the face-off, Housley driving it through the slot. Trevor Kidd dishes off, and Housley will turn and head back up the ice. Nice move through the middle, goes around Miller. Another nice move. Housley, a weak shot, but 2 great moves by Housley to get deep into the Sharks' end. Solapsky fans then has to adjust to dump it deep into the corner. Nylander out to the point. Housley tees it up. That's blocked by Friesen. Into the corner for Titov with 20 seconds in the power play. There's a shot. That one just goes wide. Here's Nylander again trying to center it. Comes back to him. Nylander giving off to the side for Titov. Jim Kite without a stick. Solapsky's shot saved by Irbe. It came off his pad and just went wide. Now a giveaway to Miller. He'll dump it down, and the penalty's over.
Couple of big saves here in the last 30 seconds by Arthur Zerbe.
Here's Housley again. He sends it up to Mike Sullivan. Sullivan, a nice move at the line. Sullivan diving, trying to break through the pack. Almost did it. Ronnie Stern in the corner, bumps with Raftji. Puck comes to the blue line. Now Peterson with it for the Sharks, ahead for Whitney. Whitney to Larionov, just poked away. Now it comes to this side, taken by the Flames, Mike Sullivan. Sullivan gives it right back to Peterson. He'll dish back for Mike Raftji. Raftji for Whitney, but it's a two-line pass. 16:36 left in the second period. Calgary leads 2-1. Rebuilding a failed engine can be time-consuming and costly. Replace it with a new GM Goodwrench engine, backed by a 3-year, 50,000-mile warranty. Our factory-trained technicians handle installation, too. You'll get back on the road quicker with a GM Goodwrench.
On this Flames power play, the shot's going to come from the point. You see Kite, no stick. Zalapski's going to let the shot go. Sandy McCarthy's in front, gets a piece of that one, deflects it, but Herbe stays with that one all the way. He made some big stops on that penalty kill. Calgary 0 for 2 now with the power play, but still leading 2-1. There's your shot totals, 13-10 in favor of the Flames. Last night the Sharks faced 39 shots. Here's Sandis Ozolinsh, the lone Shark goal scorer. That was, by the way, Sandis' first ever playoff goal. He did not score a goal in last year's playoffs. Of course, we'll never forget his chance in Game 6 against Toronto. Here's Dahl. Now Cruz in the corner. Ozolinsh bumping him off the puck. Then Baker follows to take Kennedy out on the play, and it's cleared out. Trevor Kidd settling it at the side for Trent Yanni. Now Dahl sends it ahead. Jim Kite reaching it ahead of Cruz. Otto sends it in, but Cruz was offside, so the Flames will have to clear out. Calgary changing on the go now as Fleury's line comes on. Here's a chance, but it's broken up as Kite gets the loose puck, and Housley collects it for the Flames. Reichel and Hlushko out with Theron Fleury, as an icing call will go against the Calgary Flames with 15:31 left here in the second period. Well, tonight's game is brought to you by Cellular One, the Bay Area's exclusive digital cellular provider, and most popular cellular service is making digital today's best cellular value. Cellular One, more people call on us. I think the Sharks are doing well in this hockey game is getting the puck out of their own zone. In the morning skate this morning, they worked on that for about 10-15 minutes. The puck being dumped into their zone, defensemen going back and either hitting the center high or that winger on the boards. That's what they're doing very well so far here in this hockey game.
Housley, the spinorama to try and elude Jeff Friesen. Now gets help as Reichel advances it up the wing for Hlushko. 25-year-old Todd Hlushko to Reichel. He hit the crossbar. They're indicating a goal. Let's see if it went in or not. The referee is calling it a goal.
I'm sure that the Sharks are going to be right in his face. They want to look at it again.
I think they...
Well, the referee seems pretty confident, Randy.
He certainly does, and so do the Calgary Flames, obviously. Well, would make it 3-1.
Well, what you want here, obviously, is take another look at it. We're going to look at it right here, but the Sharks want the people upstairs to look at it. You're going to see the shot, see what it hits. Here, like it went in and came around, but I think just to keep at least the Sharks satisfied, they're going to have to look at this one again. Here's the shot, see where it hits and what happens to it. Shot.
Well, awfully hard to tell there, too.
Look, it hit and then came right around, and the red light went on, and Paul Dvorsky, the referee, immediately pointed towards the net, indicated he thought it was a goal. Here it is once again.
Reichel teeing it up. Boy, it came off something. I don't think it ever went in, Pete. It came right down outside the red line.
Well, this is where you got to go upstairs and take another look at it. Even though the Flames and the fans think, and the referee thinks it went in, and you're going to have the video.
He's not reviewing it.
Well,
I don't think he's going to review it.
I don't know. You know, I think for at least in his mind, he's got to be sure. And look at that again. And Jeff Hodges is right in there questioning that. And, well, he should.
Well, let's look at it again and see if we can find out here.
It hit something and then rolled back. Look where the puck, after it hits the ground. It hits upstairs, hits the ice, has not crossed the red line. So I think that what Dvorsky thinks is it hit upstairs, underneath, and then came out.
Well, right now the scoreboard says 2-1, and Bruce Hilton, the video goal judge, now I think has summoned Dvorsky over, and they are going to review it now.
Absolutely. You got to remember, these officials here are not from Calgary. In the playoffs, they switch these guys around, and the minor officials are from Winnipeg, so they are neutral, and we are looking at it again.
Right now the scoreboard says 2-1, so Reichel waiting to find out if he has his first goal of these playoffs, and Paul Dvorsky is going to leave the ice and go and talk to Hilton on the phone.
All right, I could see, Randy. I don't know, maybe you saw it differently, but it looked inconclusive the way I saw it.
Well, in that case, it would be a goal because both the goal judge and referee indicated it's a goal.
Well, the guy right there has the final say.
If the referee,
he's the boss.
If he called it a goal and the replay's inconclusive, it's a goal.
Yeah, but if the guy upstairs, if he, you got to look because he only saw it once. The referee saw it just once. So he's going to take a look at the guy upstairs, look at it again.
It's off the front of the goal line. It certainly is not behind the line and rolls out.
So it could have hit underneath the post, came back, and I'll tell you something. I don't think that went in.
It is no goal. So the Sharks get a huge break, and now the Flames are in Dvorsky's face. Dvorsky was prepared to leave it on the board, and then they finally review it. It's no goal.
Good call. Well,
they're going to have a face-off in the neutral zone. Oh, boy, the Calgary Flames are upset here because both Dvorsky and the goal judge indicated goal.
Well, like we said, he only sees it once. Dave King is over there questioning the referee right now, and I'm sure what Paul Dvorsky is saying is, hey, I have to go upstairs and look at it. This is important enough. I think it went in. Goal judge thinks it went in. Let's see what the film shows upstairs. And upstairs said no goal, so the faceoff will stay inside the Shark zone, and the score will remain 2-1.
So the faceoff will be to the left of Herbe. It is still 2-1. And Robert Reichel can't buy a goal, Pete. He is having a tough series so far. He had that great chance with seconds left in game one. And he took a lot of heat from the press for his inability to score in game one. And now he thinks he has one, but it's disallowed. So the Sharks can be thankful for the video goal judge.
You know, Randy, if that would have gone in and hit the mesh underneath, that water bottle would have moved. Did you notice the water bottle jump up?
It did not move.
No,
it
did not hit underneath.
That's the tip right there. Here's a break for Chris Tansel. Tansel scores! And what a turn of events. A goal is disallowed, and the Sharks tie the game.
Chris Tansel getting behind everybody as all the traffic was up the ice, and that puck bouncing right to him, and he makes no mistake as he high-fives it going by the bench.
His first ever Stanley Cup goal.
Yeah, here he is behind Housley coming in, and kid comes way out and is off balance, and he just draws it over to his backhand and puts it in to tie this game at 2. Here's the play coming in. He faked the shot. Kid went with that, and Tansel just slides it up underneath, and boy, has this thing changed around in the last minute. There it is underneath the goalkeeper, and 2-2 tie.
So Tansel at 5:09 turns things right around just 24 seconds after the disallowed goal. Titov trying to throw under the net. That's broken up. Here's Ozolinsh, who has the other Sharks goal ahead to Larionov, and they clear it out to center. Chris Tansel, what a story he's been this year, coming up from Kansas City and playing in his first Stanley Cup playoff game Sunday, got an assist, and tonight gets his first Stanley Cup playoff goal while back home in San Jose. His wife's getting ready to give birth to their first child.
Maybe happening right now after that.
That one was for baby. Here's Titov across the line, dumps it in as Irbe will settle it behind the Sharks net. 2-2 as the Sharks fight back from a 2-0 deficit, and that really is an emotional swing for San Jose after the Flames have the Reichel goal disallowed. Here's a nice stand-up play by Janney at the line. Then he takes a pop from Kevin Dahl. Flames clear it out. Here comes Sheldon Kennedy across the ice to the blue line. Working on the left wing. Jason Moore back there. Kennedy got it on goal. Moore and Kennedy follow along the boards as Yanni takes a shot. That sits there behind Kite. And Moore will flip it out of trouble. Here's a race for the puck. Baker's going to get to it. Jamie Baker wide on the right. Great pass to Janney, who missed it. Here's Falloon. Shot saved by Kidd, and Otto has it back for the Flames. Oh, what a chance for Janney on a beautiful pass by Baker, but Craig couldn't haul it in. Here's Rathje, winds it up, and Kidd stops that blast by number 40. We're all tied here in Calgary. 2-2 in Game 2 on 36 KICU.
What do you get when you fly B?
There's Chris Tansel, his first ever Stanley Cup playoff goal. You had a few of those, Pete. That feels good to get the first one.
Sure does. Got an assist in Game 1, and here he gets behind the defense, coming in against Kidd, and he faked that shot, and Kidd went for it, and then no trouble just sliding it underneath.
Chris Tansel from Livonia, Michigan. Out in that neighborhood, they were cheering the Red Wings on earlier tonight, who beat Toronto. There's a shot by Peterson. And Kidd with the save as it's cleared out. Now Dan Kesmer at one-time Sharks property. Turns it back over as Rathje slaps it in. Rathje's had that huge slap shot going tonight. He's tested Kidd a couple of times and, of course, scored his first playoff goal here in Game 1. That one goes up in the seats behind Artur Zerbe with 12:13 left to go here in the second period. And the Sharks game from Calgary is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. Well, if you missed it first time, I want to remind you again about the KSJO radio party, a playoff street party on Thursday prior to Game 3. It starts at 5:30, goes till 7:15 on Autumn Street outside San Jose Arena. There'll be a huge barbecue with hot dogs, burgers, and ribs, as well as live music, prizes, fun and games, all thanks to KSJO 92.3 FM. We'll be rocking and rolling with them out there and trying to scoop some free food, huh, Pete? We'll have to check that one out.
Bring a bib for those ribs.
Here's Makarov with a steal down the right side, and Sergei checked hard by Zarli Zalewski. And it's cleared through the neutral zone past German Titov. Ozelin will get to this ahead of Mike Sullivan. And the Sharks clear it out. Here's Whitney trying to catch up to it on the left side. He will, looks back for help. Whitney puts on a move to get by Chason. Now Chason recovers, but Makarov has the puck. With Whitney, Sergei behind the net, trying to center it, did, knocked away by Kidd. Here's Larionov with a turnaround shot, but it went wide. And it's held in by Ozelin to Whitney. Whitney and Chason really roughing Ray Whitney up on that right wing as it's cleared down by the Flames. Now Ronnie Stern taking a look behind the play at Sergei Makarov. Nothing more is going to come of this, though. It comes quickly to center ice for Larionov. He'll tee it up, and it goes wide off the deflection.
Yeah, that line wants to get off. And they're coming off now. Igor and Sergei and Falloon and Janney jumping out there.
Here's Falloon with Peterson. Pat Falloon shoots. Kidd the save. Falloon just dumped a little wrist shot at Kidd. It almost fooled the Calgary goalie. Now Falloon shoveling it behind the net for Janney. This is Joel Otto. He can't clear it. Peterson with a good shot. And Kidd with the left pad on it. Back come the Flames. At center ice. Now to the blue line. Nylander leaving it for Dan Kesmer. Kesmer peeling away from Janney. Throws it at the net. Irbe's got it. He'll hold it there. Great end-to-end play here in the middle part of the second period with this game tied 2-2.
A couple of chances for both teams at both ends. Pat Falloon had a chance to let one go. May have waited too long, and you're going to see the Falloon effort right here. And he's coming down, and he maybe could have shot the puck right there. And he just waits a little bit, takes himself a little bit out of the play at a bad angle there, and he finally went to shoot it. He didn't get too much on it. And I think if he stayed in the center of the ice, he had more of the net to shoot at, and he just waited that extra couple of seconds.
Well, Falloon should know the book on Trevor Kidd. They were teammates with the Spokane Chiefs back in 1990-91 when the Chiefs went all the way to win the Memorial Cup, the championship of major junior hockey in North America. Of course, Ray Whitney was also on that team. Now they're facing one another here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Kidd behind the Calgary net. He'll use the glass to get it up and around the boards. Jim Kite doing a nice job with that bouncing puck. Now Kevin Miller slaps it back in. Sharks now out shooting Calgary. And here's a chance in front as Dahlin just missed. It's cleared. This will go deep. Jim Kite trying to beat Reichel to it. And he does for the icing call against the Flames.
Good battle by Jim Kite fighting off Reichel. Well, I'll tell you, he has been a big addition to the Sharks. You know, you don't see his name in the summaries that often, but you look in front of the Shark net when there's play going on, he's always in somebody's face, knocking people down, blocking shots. Once played with the Calgary Flames here for 57 games a few years back.
Well, let's review the regular season for these teams. The Sharks had Oakdahl and lead them in scoring, assists, and power play points. And Jeff Friesen, the youngest player in the NHL this year, led the Sharks with 15 goals. And for Calgary, it was the Theron Fleury show, at least in points, goals, and tied in power play points. Phil Housley leading in assists and also had 20 points on the power play. So far, however, none of those individuals have figured in the scoring tonight. 2-2 the score. Titov and Kennedy for Calgary, Ozolinsh and Tansel for the Sharks. Larionov out of the corner. Out there with Nazarov and Makarov. Here's Nazarov. Gives back to Larionov. Ratchy winding up, and he missed wide. Well, that had something on it. His shots tend to have a lot on them. He might have the best slap shot on the team.
He's got the heaviest, there's no question. When that hit that end boards, boy, you could hear it.
Ozolinsh just oversteps the puck as Mike Sullivan was interfering with him. Makarov and Sullivan had the sticks up as they both went to the benches. The Sharks have certainly snuffed out Calgary's early momentum in this game when they took a 2-0 lead. And Ozolinsh touching up for another icing call against Calgary with 8:59 left here in the second period. It is the Sharks 2 and the Flames 2 in Game 2. We'll be right back.
With new cars averaging 20,000 these days, what could you...
Second period here in Calgary. 2-2 the score. Randy Hahn along with Pete Stemkowski. Glad you're along here on this Tuesday evening. This series moves back to Northern California after tonight. Games 3 and 4 on Thursday and Saturday as Artur Zerbe controls the puck for the Sharks. Out of the corner, it's Baker tussling with Paul Cruz. Sheldon Kennedy coming in late there to check Peterson. Sharks clear it up and out to Pat Falloon. One man back, it's Yanni. Falloon shot. Jason Kidd, Trevor Kidd, I knew I'd say it once with the stop. Oh, that is such a Freudian slip to avoid. Here's Zerbe. Up the boards, and Otto's got it. Now Friesen, nice give to Janney. Back for Ozolinsh, back to Janney. Tried the return pass one more time, but Dahl blocked it. And Jim Kite's going to get back there, and it's another icing call against Calgary. They've had about 3 or 4 in the last 2 minutes. Well, it is that time of the year again to sign up for the Sharks Summer Hockey Schools. There are going to be 2 of them coming up next month. They're 1-week camps scheduled for mid-June for players aged from 5 to 17. A full spectrum of skills, tactics, and strategy will be taught by some of the nation's best instructors, as well as several of the Sharks players. Space is limited, though. Call the Sharks at their Community Development Department, 408-999-5844.
Pat Falloon's father, Ron Falloon from Fox Warren, Manitoba. Another one from Souris, Manitoba. The Jay Moore clan here in attendance at the Saddle Dome tonight.
They got to be like what they are seeing so far.
Well, there's no farming going on, I guess, while they're here.
Absolutely not.
Not out in the fields. It's that time of the year for that.
Planting.
Yeah, well, whatever.
The sowing.
Say it's raining, so that's the excuse for them being here. Plus the fact, obviously, it's nice to see their boys in action.
Here's Zarley Zalapski now for the Calgary Flames. Todd Hlushko, who just got off a plane from Stockholm, where he was at the World Championships.
Apparently his equipment didn't get here at 6 o'clock tonight.
He had to borrow skates to work out, and Ozolinsh without a stick as it broke behind the net, but a whistle as the puck went into the crowd. And clock stops with 7:25 left.
Notice how quickly that the Sharks are getting that puck over, as Ozolinsh is getting attended to. May have caught a stick there just above the eye, but Sandus is doing during the year, and we had mentioned that sometimes he likes to beat that first guy, but when he gets the puck, look, he gets a stick up there high. I think he may have just got a piece of his, caught it on the glass there. He was forechecked, but Herbe actually was the guy who just turned and wheeled that one along the boards. Got the stoppage.
Face off at the top of the circle in the Shark zone. That's the situation here as we're past the halfway point in the second period. Tom Peterson playing it along the boards up for Whitney. Drops into Zalapski's skates. Now Titoff, who has one of the Calgary goals tonight. Ronnie Stern off the boards, looks behind the net, gloved down there by Sullivan. He tried to jam it through, and it came through the crease and out. Sullivan has points on both Calgary goals. Had a strong game against his former team tonight.
See that great job by Tom Peterson, only about 170 pounds. Sullivan's about 190, 95, and Peterson just hit him, and Sullivan went down.
Here's Phil Housley. What a great skater as he comes through the middle. And his pass hits Jason Moore. Here's a breakaway for Craig Janney. And it's saved by Kidd. The rebound, they score! Falloon! The Sharks bench up as Pat Falloon puts the Sharks in the lead for the first time tonight.
See the idea many times, and there's Mr. Falloon in the middle, controlling himself very well, I'd say, but the idea is to follow up the play, and what so happens so often on the ice is somebody has a breakaway and everybody just stops to watch, but instead, Janney in, and Falloon is going to come behind him. Janney's coming in on Kidd. Kidd's going to make the initial stop, but everybody goes past the net, and here comes Pat Falloon up. That puck jumping right on his stick, and he makes no mistake of that one. Here comes Janney on the one-on-one on Kidd. Going to let the shot go. Kidd with the save. Here comes Pat Falloon right there, right spot in the net, and the Sharks are leading this game.
Pat Falloon's first of these playoffs, his second career in the postseason. Craig Janney, the only assist at 13:29 as the Flames are booed for icing the puck again.
And a couple of the Flame players at center ice, that puck was loose, and they both turned and ran into each other and went down, and Craig Janney, the opportunist, was right there to jump on that loose puck, but great follow-up effort by Pat Falloon to put that one in.
Falloon with 12 goals in the regular season. Here's a look from inside the net.
Well, look at Janney coming in. He's going to shoot it, and Kidd makes the save, and now he's completely out of position there, and Falloon got that puck right on his stick and just drove that thing into the net.
Well, Falloon did a great job there. That puck was bouncing. He picked it out of the air and put it home, and the Sharks have their first lead as they get a shot right off the faceoff. Jeff Odgers driving the net, and the Sharks are really inspired. It's all turned around from that disallowed Calgary goal earlier in the period.
Coming back from a 2-0 deficit, the Sharks have scored the last 3 goals.
Here's Tansel, who has one of them. Up for Baker. He waits on it. Has Odgers on the left. A fight behind the play. Sean Cronin. And he's mixing it up with McCarthy. McCarthy with the right hand free, giving it to Cronin. Sean trying to get one of his hands loose.
Cronin loves to throw that left hand, and
Cronin got the touchdown.
Obviously, Sandy McCarthy trying to get his team and the people in this building going a little bit, and throw about a half dozen punches at each other, and I think Cronin's got something there below that right eye. He may have taken a punch, but it was a pretty close one.
He's got a little mouse there as McCarthy had the right arm free. And there's Sandy McCarthy, who was the GOAT on Jamie Baker's second goal, or first goal Sunday night, as McCarthy, not a defenseman, but was caught back there on Sunday, and Baker put a beautiful move on him to score, and McCarthy's got a little something over the left eye, too.
I think Cronin got a couple in. Fans are a little excited here.
Now, McCarthy, we didn't see it, but after the breakup of the two fighters, McCarthy put his finger in the air and waved it around to try and rev up the crowd, which, I don't know, kind of is a little odd after a fight.
This crowd has been rather subdued here tonight.
So, fighting penalties to both McCarthy and Cronin at 14-12.
Well, shots on goal here in the second period. The Sharks dominated 10-5 and dominating in the game by 4-19-15. And that goal late in that first period, I think, was the turning point up to now, with Ozolinsh getting that one. That gave the Sharks a big lift heading into that first intermission. Of course, that disallowed goal is a huge factor also.
Still lots of time left, though. 5:38 to go here in the second period. It is 3-2 Sharks.
How quiet has Theron Fleury been in this game so far?
Theron who?
One shot on goal in the first period.
Puck comes around, and Irbe trying to settle it. Took his time, and Robert Reichel stole it. Here's Fleury sending it across. Kevin Miller knocks it down. Phil Housley trying to strip it from him. Miller gets back up again, tossed aside, puck loose to Fleury. Here's Theron Fleury in front. Oh, what a chance at the front of the net for Phil Housley, and he missed. Here's Nylander with a shot. That's blocked. Fleury after it in the corner. Behind the net, it's Housley. This is Michael Nylander. Nylander sweeping the shot, save, rebound, and Fleury missed the far side. Penalty coming up as Fleury slashes at Jim Kite. It will be against the Sharks. Cross-checking the call. Sharks lead 3-2 on 36 KICU.
At the intermission, Dave Maley will be back with his thoughts on this interesting second period. That plus highlights from the NHL and NBA playoffs. That's right at the break. Right now, back to Calgary with Randy and Pete.
3-2 the score here as Jim Kite sits in the penalty box for the next 2 minutes, cross-checking the call at 15:19 as he took Theron Fleury out in front of the Sharks' net. Calgary getting a shot on goal in that last sequence, Pete. It was their first since that disallowed goal at 4:45. But now Calgary on the power play. Shot by Reichel. Irbe the save. The rebound was free for a second. And Kissio was trying to take advantage, but Irbe covered it up.
Well, brought right at his feet and makes that save. Kelly Kissio, former Shark out there, who's been injured most of the season, but went through a stretch of 6 goals in 6 games during the season when he was playing.
Holds the Sharks record for points in a season, 78. Scored a couple of seasons ago before he was moved on. Actually chose to leave despite a very lucrative offer from the Sharks. Took a free agent offer from the Calgary Flames. Of course, he was also involved in that deal that had him traded at the deadline. And due to a fax machine mix-up, he was sent back to the Sharks from Chicago.
And the Sharks' most valuable player in their second year of existence. So did quite a lot for the franchise. But he's now the enemy.
Off the draw, it comes back to the point. Here's Chason. Rafchi swinging at the puck. It comes up the middle, held in. Now a shot. That deflects off Irbe's stick way up in the first deck here at the Olympic Saddle Dome. And the faceoff will stay in the Sharks zone. Still 1:41 left in the power play.
Robert Reichel, one of the offensive weapons for the Calgary Flames, and along also obviously with Fleury and Reichel. They have to pick up the slack offensively with Joe Neuendijk still out of the lineup.
Didn't record a shot on goal in game one. He had that last-second try that went wide. That's Harvey the Hound, the mascot here in Calgary. He's no Sharky, let me tell you that. Here's Housley for Calgary. You saw 20 power play points for him during the season. Irbe leaving it for Rafchi, and Mike will clear it out. And Rafchi having a second strong playoff game for the second-year defenseman. Scored that big power play goal, and there's a nice steal by Rafchi off Chason.
Standing up, you know, he's so big and so wide that he covers up a lot of that ice, and he's strong. When he can go back there, he can fight off a guy to get those pucks back there.
Chason dumps it in as the crowd starts to get a Go Flames Go chant going. Here's Housley, moves along the line, leaves for Reichel. Reichel drives toward the net, and Irbe's got the puck. Fleury was right there, but Jeff Friesen did a nice job to tie him up and spin him around.
You notice what Friesen did, though, Randy. He got his stick between his legs and pushed Fleury off balance. It's one thing taking a guy in front of the net, but if he can get his stick on the ice and get on that loose puck, that's a different story. And shot coming from the point. Irbe's really sharp in this game tonight. He's seeing the puck real well. Look at him. The shot's going to come through, and you're going to see 39. Friesen going to tie up Fleury. See, grabs him there, just pushes him around, keeps that stick off the ice, and Irbe covers up with 46 seconds left here in Jim Kite's penalty.
Irbe with 17 saves on the night. Sharks are out shooting Calgary. And let's see, is linesman going to let him stay in there? They will. Mark Vines allowing Nylander and Baker to remain in the circle. Here is Rafchi, and he'll leave it. Peterson plays it up the wing. We have a whistle and a penalty behind the play. A high sticking indication. And
23 in the white is heading over there.
Sheldon Kennedy is drifting toward the penalty box. And
looking at Rafchi's
there's going to be Kennedy going off for Calgary. So Sheldon Kennedy called for high sticking.
That puck right from the face-off coming back. Rafchi turned to go get the puck, and Kennedy went, I guess, to lift up his stick, and that caught Rafchi in the face. And referee Paul Dvorsky took a close look at Mike Rafchi and then indicated it's only a 2-minute call. See Rafchi going back for the loose puck, and there you see the stick coming up right there, and that Mike appeared right underneath the chin there, and that was the high stick there on number 23, Sheldon Kennedy.
So that wipes out the Calgary power play, and the Sharks will have a man advantage in half a minute. Ozolinsh throwing it toward the net. Now he gets it back. Sandis Ozolinsh from behind the net. On his backhand. Sets it up to Larionov, who spins away from traffic. Had Makarov open, but couldn't reach him with the pass. Here's Nylander with Fleury back the other way. Theron Fleury has it poke checked away. Now the Sharks on a power play as Jim Kite steps on. He has a break with Larionov. Kite winds up, shoots, and it's partially blocked into Trevor Kidd. And Igor Larionov wide open on the right side. Kind of looking at Jim Kite saying, I was open.
Well, you got to understand, he is a defenseman, and he doesn't get these kind of opportunities too long. And I think the situation here is he had too many options. You either shoot, pass it, or whatever. And by the time he decided to do something, he just didn't get much of a shot. But he did have Igor Larionov over on the off wing there, and could have slid it over there. But Jim Kite did get a weak shot on the net. You're going to see him breaking it. Now look at Larionov on the right. He's got the options here. He's going to shoot it. Then he knows Larionov's over there, but I think Igor was towards the end of a shift.
Here's Peterson, a glove save by Kidd, and a good thing he got a piece of that. That was labeled as Tom Peterson continues to have a strong series here against Calgary.
You know, the face-off won back to Peterson, and you're right there. He does not get the body. You know, if he misses that one, he's got the body behind it, then he's going to stop it, and Kidd just challenged Peterson, got the glove up just in time, and the puck goes over top of the glass.
Face-off stage in the Calgary zone. Sharks win the draw again. Jason Moore leaves the point, trips down low, drops it to the corner for Dahlin. Behind the net, it's Whitney. Whitney tried to set it up. It hit Housley, and now Moore can't hold it in.
Bounced over his stick.
Sharks on the power play for 45 more seconds, leading 3-2 as we are down to the 2-minute remaining mark in the second period. Jason Moore over to Peterson. He'll send it in. Janney to the puck on this side. Out of the corner, it's Whitney. Leaves it for Dahlin. Holt back to Rathje. His backhander goes wide. Now Peterson. He'll send it behind the net. Knocked down by Chason. And Peterson will get back for the Sharks. Good play by Peterson there. Now Janney to the line. Puck hit Mike Sullivan's skate. And now a giveaway to Titoff by Rathje, but he recovered. Germán Titoff working against Pat Falloon to Sullivan. Off the blocker of Herbe, and now the Calgary penalty's over. Here's Ozelin. Across the line. Nice give to Janney, but Falloon went offside on the right wing. And there's 1:11 left here in the period.
One of the goal scorers, Chris Hansel, in this hockey game. And you know, we talk about so often, Randy, how skating is important and everything else falls into place. And I think through these first two games, that's one thing the Sharks are doing. They're skating and moving the puck quicker. That's why they're getting these chances offensively. 22-19 shots on goal here, and minute 11 to go in favor of the Sharks.
Sharks got 2 shots on that last power play. There's Jamie Baker, who had the 2 huge goals on Sunday against Calgary. His last 2-goal game came against Toronto in the regular season. That was back on February 6th. And, of course, he had that huge 2-goal game last year near the end of the regular season against L.A. that clinched the first ever Sharks playoff berth. Under a minute left here in the second period with the Sharks in front 3-2. They've scored the last 3 goals of this game. Ozelin, Cancel, and Falloon. As it's dumped by Housley across the line. Jason Moore chops at it. Now Falloon will clear it.
Sharks are just lining up 4 across the blue line, and Calgary just can't do anything with it.
Jim Kite back there to touch it. That'll be icing against the Calgary Flames with 32.5 seconds to go. Well, the Sharks have a lot of work for them cut out here in the spring, but once it's all over, they're going cruising, and you can too. Join the Sharks on a 1-week Caribbean cruise. You'll stop at exotic ports like San Juan, St. Thomas, and St. Croix. It's in August. And a great opportunity to join the Sharks from the 20th to the 27th at 1-800-244-9669. That's the number to call. You know, Pete, if you call right now, you also get a free vacation to Las Vegas.
I like cruises. I've been on one. I think it's the best vacation. Bring your appetite. And midnight buffets.
No, this is non-stop buffets. One long buffet line. 32.5 seconds to go here. Second period with Solapsky controlling the puck behind Trevor Kidd. And he'll come out now to the neutral zone. Turn right back the other way. Dahlin. Gloved down by Rathje, who's logging a lot of ice time tonight.
A strong game in game 1, and that's just carried over here into game 2 for Mike Rathje.
Chason slapped it around, and that's going to be called icing again. No, a 2-line pass by Calgary.
How many icings for the Flames you mentioned in this period? I guess some frustration settling in as they're not given the blue line. And Jeff Friesen mentioning he was nervous, had the butterflies before game 1, and well, he should in his first NHL playoff goal ever. And there's father.
Jeff's dad here in Calgary.
Smile on his face for obvious reasons. Son playing well, and the Sharks are up by a goal with 6 seconds left.
How long is the drive from Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan? Can't be that far.
Is that near Moose Jaw?
I think it's just south of the Moose's Jaw.
All right.
Buzzer sounds to end the second period here in Calgary. And the San Jose Sharks got some great goaltending from Artur Zerbe, but down at the other end, he got some great offensive support, and the Sharks even got some up in the Video goal judge's box. Tansel made it 2-2, his first ever Stanley Cup playoff goal at 5:09. Then Pat Falloon, his first of this playoff season, second ever in the postseason from Janney at 13:29. And that's where we stand through 40 minutes of Game 2. It's the San Jose Sharks 3 and the Calgary Flames 2. Now we send you back to our Cellular One studios and Robert Bronstein.
Up next, Dave Maley will be back with his thoughts on a thrilling second period and scores and highlights from the NHL and NBA right after this.
At Togo's, we serve sandwiches, over 30 kinds of sandwiches, all made with the finest ingredients. Our breads are bakery fresh and delivered daily. Our meats, roast beef, pastrami, all breast meat turkey, albacore tuna, Italian dry salami. Plus, we garnish our sandwiches with natural cheeses and garden fresh vegetables. Hey, if you like hearty sandwiches and salads, this is your place. We're Togo's. We're here when you're hungry.
It's well known that Cellular One offers remarkably clear service from coast to coast.
Father couldn't be here, so he's listening over the phone.
Oh, she sounds great, honey.
In fact, clarity could be why more people choose Cellular One.
I pass the ball over to Tommy. He scored!
Cellular One, the nation's #1 cellular service, clear across America.
The rewards of using the American Express card keep adding up. Every time you use the card, you can earn miles. Miles that add up to free vacations, free flights, free adventures. The Membership Miles program. It's our way of saying thank you for using the American Express card. Enroll today. You've earned it. To enroll or to apply for a card, call 1-800-AX-MILES.
Now, because you can get such a great deal on Stevens Creek Auto Row, because they got more cars, they got more dealerships, they got better prices, you can walk into pretty much any financial institution up and down the auto road dressed, like me, like a normal Joe, and get a loan, because you're not going to have to borrow that much money. Whereas, on another auto row, you may have to dress a little differently. Kind of like this. I would like some money, please. Don't make any sudden moves.
We are at the second intermission, and oh my goodness, the Sharks have a 3-2 lead. Dave Maley is back with us now, and the big play in that period, the goal that wasn't a goal.
Oh, it was a huge play. Instead of a 3-1 game right there, a few minutes later, the Sharks come back, make it a 2-1 game. So it was a huge goal. We looked at it, and it definitely wasn't in. We were, ranting and raving here in the studios, trying to yell up there.
Initially, they weren't even going to review it.
No, they weren't going to. He doesn't have to review it if he's sure that it was in. He doesn't have to review it. But then he got the call from up above and said that, well, we were saying the same thing. Hey, it's not a goal.
Yeah, you better take a look. And then right after that, the Chris Tansel goal, and it was like boom, boom. It would have been 3-1.
Yeah, it's a huge goal right here. He makes a great play to the backhand, and yeah, he looked like he was trying to get it up, but it got through. It was a great goal.
So instead of a 3-1 lead, it was a 2-2 tie. Here's the net cam. I love this view, and it really shows it well. Chris Tansel coming up big, and then the breakaway here.
Yeah, well, I think, Janney makes a great play here, but Pat Falloon follows it up. That's what you learn from day one. You put the skates on, the coach tells you, follow up all the plays, and he's right there following up, and Calgary gets caught looking at the puck, and he scores the goal.
And there's Patty's dad shaking his fist up in the stands, and he's a good friend of ours. He always calls up the station to find out the satellite coordinates so he can watch his son play up in Canada. So he was a happy man there in the stands. And then the McCarthy-Cronin fight. What was that all about?
Well, you really didn't see much of the fight just towards the end of it. I didn't see what started it, but I'm sure it was, McCarthy doing his job or, trying to get something started. I didn't like his flailing his arms after the fight. That's kind of Bush, but, I think he's just trying to get his team going.
What did this show you about the Sharks after they were down 2-1 and they come back and play a period like that?
Well, I think it shows tremendous character. It shows really what a team's made of. They go in there, they're up 1-0. You hear the media. You maybe not want to read the papers, but they're going to come out physical, and they weather the storm the first period, and they come back with a heck of a period.
Yeah, and everybody in Calgary, they were talking about it in the papers. I was talking to Mark Stolberger, who's the director of the telecast, and he was saying, everybody in Calgary is just assuming that Calgary is going to win Game 2, and look where we are now.
Well, I think there's got to be some people turning their heads there now because they've come up with 5 great periods.
So now 3-2, it's not a comfortable lead at all. What do the Sharks need to do to hang on in the third period?
I think they got to keep the pressure on. I think they got to. I hope they don't go back to the 4 guys back. I hope they keep playing, forcing them, and maybe adding to this lead.
Yeah, you'd like to see them put a little bit more pressure on Trevor Kidd and see if they get another one, right?
Yeah, I've played my whole life as a defensive role. I could see the goals scored.
Me too. I don't want to have one of those nerve-wracking finishes like we did in Game 1. Arturs, stay in the net. Back with the latest from the NHL and NBA playoffs right after this.
Now Murphy on. It's a 5-on-4 advantage. Dahlin behind the net. Checked by Weinrich. Here's a chance in front. Blocked by Belfort. With his goal!
If you had one wish every 15 years, wouldn't this be it?
Now it's some of the other teams involved in the Western Conference playoffs. The Detroit Red Wings looking to take a 2-game lead over Dallas, but the scoreboard brought to you by The Card. We take a quick look at the NBA playoffs as Indiana...
Call now to enter.
Back live at the Olympic Saddledome in Calgary here on KICU. Second intermission with the Sharks leading the Calgary Flames 3-2 here in Game 2. Sharks have a chance to go 2-0 up in this best-of-7 series. Pete Stemkowski, I thought the Sharks in that second period played the way they have all throughout this playoff series so far, and that's controlled, intense hockey. They haven't had a letdown yet in this game.
Yeah, I noticed no mistakes. There's no odd man rushes, and that's what you have to play in playoff hockey. You don't see any 2-on-1s, anything like that. They're very precise in their defensive assignments, and they're getting the puck out of their own end, something that we mentioned they worked on in the morning, and of course they got some scoring opportunities, and they took advantage of them there in that second period.
Well, thanks to the video goal judge, the Sharks caught a huge break in that second period. Pick it up with Calgary leading 2-1, 4:45 mark of the second period.
It's going to be Robert Reichel's going to shoot the puck. The red light's going to go on. The referee, Paul Dvorsky, is going to indicate that he thought it went in, and then after some deliberation and going upstairs to the video goal judge, it was ruled no goal. Less than a half a minute later, Chris Tansel jumps on a loose puck, comes in on Kidd, and makes no mistake to put that one in to tie the game. And then it's going to be Pat Falloon taking over as the Calgary Flames bump into each other at the center ice area. Here comes Janney. Kidd's going to make a pretty good save here, but he's down, out of position. Pat Falloon following up the play very smartly. There, puck drops right at his stick, and he makes no mistake on that one.
Pat's second career playoff goal, and it gives the Sharks the lead. Look at the stats brought to you by Pontiac and the Silicon Valley Pontiac dealers. We are driving excitement. The Sharks now out shooting Calgary 22-19. The Flames still outchancing San Jose by a couple. Sharks with the only power play goal in the game so far on only 3 shots. We've had a total of 24 penalty minutes. We had fighting majors in that period to Sean Cronin and Sandy McCarthy. So the Sharks 20 minutes away, Pete, from doing something they weren't able to do last year, and that's to win the second game. And boy, would a 2-0 lead in this series be huge going back to San Jose for the next 2.
Well, the barrage is going to come from the Calgary Flames here in the third period. What they got to do is nothing fancy. Head man the puck, get the puck out of the zone and get the zones, get over the blue line, get over the red line, and dump it in. But I don't think they should go into a defensive shell. You certainly got to come back. Your forwards help out the defense, but still, if you get that opportunity offensively, go forward with it. And you know what, the Calgary Flames, they're desperate. They're going to pull all stops here, try and get that tying goal here in the third period.
And for the second straight game, the Sharks are getting outstanding goaltending from Arturs Urbe. We asked Arturs to compare playoff hockey to the regular season variety.
It's like sky and earth, because in a regular season there are a lot of key games, a lot of important games, but you always can make it up afterwards. In playoffs you can't make up. If you lose, you lose, and that's it. You are out there. So playoff hockey is much more intense, and with that intensity in the games, everything else, all the surrounding life is becoming much more intense too. We have to look after ourselves much properly. We have to follow our routine more carefully and spend more time preparing because intensity is so high. We can't just waste our energy.
Well, Archer Zerbe comparing the two varieties of hockey, and I'll tell you what, Pete, he has got the variety of playoff hockey down again tonight because he's been very, very solid, giving up very few rebounds as well.
Well, you know, he's a money player. You saw what he did for the Sharks last year in the playoffs, and they got the other guys, too, with experience. Greg Janney, Larionov, Makarov. Those are world-class players that play for pride more than anything else. And as Archer's mentioned, you know, there's not a lot of tomorrows in the playoffs if you lose, so this is the kind of pressure that these guys live for. And as you mentioned, these first two games, Archer Zerbe has just been outstanding for the Sharks.
Another quotable quote by Archer Zerbe, the difference between earth and sky. Time now for our Chevron Fast Fact, brought to you by Chevron. No gasoline cleans your engine better than Chevron with its special gasoline additive. Chevron, simply smarter. And the Edmonton Oilers have the best winning percentage in playoff games among the 26 clubs, .667. The Winnipeg Jets had the worst at just over 30%. And we will be back in Calgary momentarily, where we are awaiting the start of the third period. Sharks in front, 3-2.
Averaging.
It's the Sharks leading the Calgary Flames 3-2 here in Calgary. And the third period is brought to you by Pacific Bell. Don't miss a play and don't miss a phone call with the message center from Pacific Bell. By Roundtable, call your local Roundtable when you want all kinds of wonderful pizzas delivered. And by Pontiac and the Silicon Valley Pontiac dealers. We are driving excitement. And the next game for the San Jose Sharks coming up on Thursday on Sports Channel. Game 3 against the Calgary Flames back in the arena. The pregame show starts at 7. Game 3 action live at 7:30. The Sharks and Flames Thursday on Sports Channel. And you can see the Sharks and Flames back on the ice set for the third period. And it's time for our game notepad, brought to you by McWhorters, a whole lot more than a stationary store with 20 Bay Area locations to serve you. And it reads like this. The Flames went over 10.5 minutes without a shot on goal after that disallowed goal. The Sharks scored twice after that. Sandis Ozolin, Chris Tansel scoring their first ever career playoff goals. And in the regular season this past year, when the Sharks led after 2 periods, as they do now, they went 15-1-1. Well, there's Jason Moore, and we asked him to assess his play on defense for the Sharks this season.
Well, I think at the start of the season, one thing we wanted to work on was being consistent, you know, coming every night and being one of the leaders on the ice and working on my plus-minus. I hadn't been a plus player for the past 3 years, ever since we came here to San Jose. And, you know, right now, I'm plus, so that's, you know, I think I've done pretty much, other than point-wise, you know, I reached all the goals that I wanted to accomplish, and you know, I know my job isn't to go out and score a lot of points. It's basically to keep the other team from scoring, so I feel good about that.
Jason Moore, a +7 during the regular season, and he's been strong in these playoffs so far as well. The whole Sharks defensive unit has been very impressive. As we begin period 3 of game 2, Sharks leading 3-2. We're going to get a whistle here for a 2-line pass.
Jason Moore mentioning the fact that he wanted to be a plus player, which he did, and you know, he knows what he has to do personally for his team to succeed. And he's young, strong, only 26 years of age, and boy, he's one guy that plays with bumps, bruises, and yesterday was an optional practice. A lot of the guys did not skate, but Jason Moore, as you mentioned, logs a lot of ice time. He was out there yesterday.
Puck dumped in by Trent Yanni of the Flames, and that is whistled down. It was...
Maybe if you would have mentioned to Jason that you were going to Banff, Alberta, maybe he would have jumped on in the car with you guys and headed over there. So nothing else to do, so he practiced.
Actually, a number of the players were rather envious of our trip to the Canadian Rocky Mountains yesterday. On our day off, we visited Banff and Lake Louise and just had a splendid time at the hot springs. 106 degrees, and we baked.
That's a wonderful, wonderful place, Banff, Alberta.
It was just gorgeous up there yesterday in the mountains.
Dane Moore, by the way, is +2 in his hockey games so far. Not bad.
Sharks trying to go +2 in this series. As Jim Kite plays it up the wing for Craig Janney. Janney throwing it across, almost had Ozolinsh. Trent Yanni back there with a different defensive partner tonight, as James Patrick was with him last night, and Patrick is scratched tonight by Dave King. Kite getting back and playing it to Ozolinsh. Of those two, King said sometimes they were in a trance in game one. That's the kind of comment you want from your coach after a loss.
A lot of things were said after that loss about a number of people.
Patrick and Yanni were both -4 in that game. Yanni